It's raining in the desert, in the city of Rahat, in southern Israel, a 100% Arab Muslim city made up of Bedouin Arabs, and that is the Al-Farouk Mosque, which is a new mosque that was built here in the city. Really, really beautiful. I'm the only Jew here in the town right now, except, wait a second.
Alec? What are you doing here?
The traveling clad.
I was here picking olives and you just came up on it about I didn't expect to see you here, man. Good to see you.
What brings you to Rahat?
I'm about to go do prayer 5 times a day. I got my second prayer for today.
Right, so good to have a partner in crime here.
Assalamu alaikum.
Go check out the Al-Farouk Mosque. And also it's raining. We need to get out of the rain. Well. Wow, it's a big mosque, huh? So we're looking for a knafe now, and the one that we wanted to go to was closed, unfortunately. But just looking for some food in Rahat and taking a look in Rahat. It's very interesting. I've never really been in the city. It's a city that is not considered to be great in condition. Like in Israel, there are rankings, like socioeconomic rankings, and Rahat is very low. And we do see poverty here and some bad infrastructure, but also some very nice buildings and restaurants and quite a bit of life. So I'm very excited about this. Also a little bit nervous because my experience of trying to film Bedouins from Rahat is that they don't like to be on camera. I've had a couple experiences of that.
למה אתה מצלם?
כי אני מצלם פה מה קורה בדרום, את ההתנדבות וכל זה. כן, כן. מאיפה אתם?
מרהט.
מרהט?
לא יודע כנראה, אל תצלם בבקשה.
אוקיי, בסדר.
אל תצלם אחי.
I'll actually tell you a story. When I was a reporter and they had closed down the crossings from Gaza into Israel, which they do sometimes when there's like rocket attacks from Gaza, then there's afterwards a period where workers from Gaza are not allowed into Israel. And then when they reopened them, I went down as a reporter to talk to the workers who were coming out of Gaza to work in Israel. And I was surprised at how willing they were to be interviewed, because I would think that, under Hamas and stuff, they might be a bit nervous about doing that. And they were indeed willing to be interviewed, but the drivers from Rahat, who were picking them up from the border to drive them to the workplaces, were absolutely against opening their mouths or willing to be on camera, which was really, really strange to see that the Gazans were much more willing to be on camera than the people from Rahat. So I don't know. Let's see if we can get some people to talk to us. It's a gang of goose in the middle of the roundabout here. So we've parked here. We have a friend of Tal's who's from Rahat, and he's going to explain to us a bit about the city and also take us to see some of the places and meet some of the people here in Rahat.
This is my good friend Qasim. We spoke last time when I was here 2 years ago. This is his father. What is your name? Abed.
Today we have an election day here. It's something really that people are really, I would say, excited about. It's one of the most important days here.
We definitely saw on the street a lot more signs of the municipal elections than we did in Tel Aviv. We just came from Tel Aviv, and you see here that it's obviously more important to the people here than in Tel Aviv.
When it comes to our daily life, things that are actually controlled by the local municipality are much more important to people other than the Knesset. I mean, they look at the fact that if you need some, to improve the facility here or get a permission, get some paper. So for them, give me this, and I don't care about bigger things. I mean, if I would put it that way.
Yeah.
So that's why it's much more important. Let's get going.
How's the coffee, Tal?
So good.
Look at this.
Some olives.
Yeah. Really.
And dates.
Olives
Nothing
and
like
dates.
but the dates.
This is
Is this from
local made.
local made?
From my father's actually local business.
Well.
Sorry, I can't reach the plastic in here. Look at that. Oh, amazing.
And where did you learn such good English?
I would say I have a bachelor
Yeah.
in English, linguistics, and literature. My second degree, master's in conflict resolution.
Yep.
Conflict resolution.
Where did you study here or abroad?
Convenient.
Very
Bengal
convenient.
University.
I studied Bengal.
Really?
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful universities.
It was very cool. But it was also like when you're in Ben Gurion, you never make it to Rahat. There wasn't that much contact between the Jewish students and the Bedouin students. Like there's a little bit, there's some organizations when I was there, but it definitely felt like, you know, the two groups were not really connected, and it's a shame.
I would say it does change over time, but it's actually affected by what's going on. Say, you know, when in terms of war, in terms of distress, things change. But usually, in Bengal University, students are quite collided, like good spirit around. That's my experience.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
All right, so our friend Qasim here is taking us to meet some people. So this is a coffee shop?
I have no idea.
Sorry?
This is a coffee shop.
No. It's the Diwan, the Sheikh.
Ah, okay.
Is the Sheikh.
Ah, okay. But they give you coffee, of course.
Customers all over.
انت لا تروح لا تلعب انجليزي.
لا هني ولا مستعجل عشان مستعجل هذا قصدي.
There's a good.
مستعجل We're gonna get hyped today.
Yeah, you're not gonna sleep.
going to cardiac
You're never-
arrest in like 2 minutes.
you're not gonna sleep today at all. And it's the pure black coffee. That's the way they make it.
Didn't do the introduction.
Yes.
Abu Sagar,
Abu Sagar.
the Sheikh of this area, this neighborhood. You know, in terms of, I would say, culture, in terms of family, I would say celebrations, family conflicts, he would be the person to take care of things.
He's like the judge.
He could judge, he could figure out a resolution for conflicts.
Yeah, that's how you resolve things. Yeah.
Call it Islah.
Yeah.
Islah.
Me sulha.
Sulha. Brings things together.
تعرفنا على الشيخ كيف الحال اليوم؟
الحمد لله.
عندي سؤال. الوضع في رهط اليوم يعني أحسن من في الماضي؟
احسن.
ليش؟
اليوم احسن. اليوم احسن.
ليش أحسن؟
عارف الناس تفهمت للشيء يعني تفهموا الناس. قبل في عقل شوي، في الناس شاذين ومش عارف ايش، في شوي عنف ومش عارف.
قديش عمرك؟
انا 85.
85.
You know, keeping
85.
a lot of strength, good spirit,
Yeah.
and a lot of
He is 85 years old.
optimism. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He
looks
knows.
He looks like he's 16.
Yeah. And he knows what it was like. He knows, like, he's seen.
They've seen it all.
Rahat was founded in 1972 and was part of the government decided to build these cities so like the Bedouins would settle in permanent residences rather than in the more nomadic residences. The question is though if that was a success or no, or if the people feel like they were, treated well, so to speak, through this process, or
I would say you would find a disagreement here. People would agree with that one.
yeah,
And some people would say we want kind of a lifestyle
yeah,
that is suitable for agriculture. And
yeah.
That's why there's a lot of disagreement about the other unrecognized villages
Yeah.
trying to get the recognition.
Yeah.
So it's kind of something that's been going on for the last 25 years.
Right, this is what's called unrecognized villages, which are some of those communities that are around Rahat, which is a city that has a proper municipality and so forth. Because they're unrecognized, they're not connected necessarily to water, to electricity, things like that. And there's a lot of
All basic rights, all basic
yeah,
needs
Right.
are not actually being provided.
right. And the government is saying basically that because they build without the permits initially to construct it, that they can't retroactively go and start connecting. So there is this whole, of course, a lot of debate over this subject.
For the last 20 years, probably.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we see more of recognition of specific towns.
Right.
There've been a lot of talking about recognizing a couple of more. ايش الغداء؟ منسف. Let's join in, guys. Let's
Mansaf.
they offer you some, get over.
Mansaf, what is Mansaf, Tal?
Mansaf. I had this
had
last time I was in Rahat also.
Yeah.
It's a rice dish with nuts and some sort of meat, usually like a goat or a lamb, like
Really?
some sort of meat inside, and it is really delicious, and I'm very excited because we just got the invite to have some mansaf.
Something you can never, miss. Yeah. So
It's your first time having mansaf, Alec?
I think so.
Really?
it's
Welcome to Rahat.
My first. No, I think I've had it before, but I just didn't know what it was called. I was in Rahat. I did a Ramadan dinner here.
that probably was a massive, yeah.
No, I just don't remember like the names of the foods and stuff. And it was an article I did for TV when I worked in TV, and it was interesting because there were families there who have families in Gaza.
You're right, yeah.
Because some of the people here in Rahat have families in Gaza, extended family, cousins, and so forth. And they talked about how they sometimes, they send them money and things like that when they're struggling over there financially. So, like now, with everything that's going on in Gaza,
It's not even possible.
it's not possible.
No.
So are people trying to do something about it, or?
There's nothing you can do. This war will end soon. Life will be trying to, get it together and stand up again.
Yeah.
It will take a lot of time.
Go back to normal, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
it will take a lot of time.
And when the border is open, then they can cross. Some of the workers can cross and visit, or it doesn't happen so much.
Hopefully, but it will take time.
No, but I'm saying when it was like that,
Oh, yeah.
would you see people from Gaza here in Rahat?
Yeah. And they're the favorite workers, qualified and skilled. That's why people actually would prefer to work with them.
Yeah.
Probably cheaper prices. So it was for like a
Wow.
couple of years, for 2 years, they managed to get to
Where's your
enter and get here.
Rami?
By the war, it's all ceased. That's why it will take a lot of time, I'm sure, years from now.
But this is the grandson of the Sheikh.
اهلا وسهلا
Ahlan.
Okay.
Bye, nice to meet you.
هذول اجانب
How are you, Faris?
I'm Tal, nice to meet you.
Oh, the school in Rahat, 700 students here. The next generation. And they have really invested here. Marhaba. They really invested here in the schools. A lot more than in the past. And in higher education, the University of Ben Gurion, which is nearby in Beersheba, I studied there. A lot of Bedouin students who, after they finish primary school, go for higher education. The municipal elections, they always take place in schools. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the tour. Thank you. Does it rain a lot in Rahat? Not so much.
This winter has been quite.
Yeah. Because, I know Beersheba, it's like borderline desert. Borderline, like 200 millimeters of rain a year. Borderline desert, and this is very close.
More.
Here more, because it's further north. A flag calling for the return of the hostages here in Rahat. That was nice to see. And there were also Bedouins who were kidnapped.
Yeah, there was 4 Bedouins that were kidnapped from what I know from here, from Rahat. 2 of them have been returned home in the first hostage deal. The 2 that were on the bumper sticker there.
Right.
they're
And they were
still-
kids.
They were kids. They were both under 18.
Yeah.
One was 17, and they're all family. They're all the same family. And then the 2 of them, there's one that's 22, one that's 50 years old. I don't remember their names, but they're still kidnapped. They're still with Hamas right now.
Yeah.
Very interesting personality here. Very a social activist.
They offer you so many foods and drinks. You come out of this visit, stomach is full. It is.
Stomach is full, caffeinated beyond belief, blood sugar levels like
Yeah. אז אתה אומר בעצם שהיישובים היהודים לוקחים את רוב האדמות בשביל לעשות שם את החקלאות.
נכון. אנחנו כבדואים אין לנו חקלאות. אנחנו נולדנו עם החקלאות, לא נולדנו עם התעשייה.
Where do you think Bedouin society is going to go in the future? Future of Bedouin society as a whole.
A future Bedouin and Jewish came together.
Together.
I think what he pointed out is the structure
Yeah.
of business
Yeah.
must be a bit moved away from politics.
Yeah, I
to
agree.
get
I 100% agree with that.
a
Yeah.
pure, results and outcome. But the idea is that he's done that for the last 20 years, shows that business can be run far away from politics, and it worked with the way he sees it.
אני יכול לשאול אותך משהו? משהו אישי, אתה לא חייב לענות. מה שאמרת מקודם על להיות נשוי לשתי נשים, שזה עדיין מקובל פה בחברה הבדואית, אז איך זה מתנהל גם כי מבחינת החוק במדינה מותר רק אחת, נכון? אז זאת אומרת, אחת היא רשומה בחוק כאישה החוקית, ויש עוד אחת שהיא בעצם לא רשומה בחוק.
בן אדם שמתחתן יותר מאישה אחד, צריך להיות לו צרכים מיוחדים בשביל להתחתן את השנייה. يعني אשתי, אני נשוי, ולא רוצה להתגרש, והיא יכולה. לא יכולה לשרת אותי ולא יכולה לשרת את עצמה. ולא את הילדים שהביאה. אז אני, מבחינה זאת, מהכיוון הזה, ניתן שאני אתחתן. זה מבחינת מחשבה הגיונית. אבל לא בגלל שאני ראיתי בחורה יפה, ויש לי כסף, ויש לי בית, אני עוד אישה. הדת מאפשר, הדת לא מאפשר בצורה כזאת פרטיזנית. הדת מאפשר עד 4, אבל אם אתה לא יכול להיות ביניהם שווה בשווה, פאחד.
So Abu Nidal there had a lot to say about a lot of subjects, and whoa, if I had to translate all of that and do subtitles for it, that'd be a ton of work. So I'm going to make some conclusions here right now, specifically what he said about Gaza. That was very interesting, that he basically talked about two separate populations there. There was the population that was there before 48, and then the population that joined them after 48, after the war, some of them who fled or maybe were expelled from Israel in that war ended up in Gaza, and that there's a lot of tension between those groups and different lifestyles between the groups, different conditions. With the quote original population, they are living much more lavishly, less involved in the conflict with Israel. And then you have the refugee camps where the conditions are worse and the people there are much more involved with, for example, the Hamas militants and so forth, and also who live very often off UNRWA, which is the UN agency, refugee agency that is specifically for the Palestinians. So that was his take, Abu Nidal, about the situation in Gaza and the population in Gaza and part of the underlying conditions there that are playing a part in the conflict. And in the meanwhile, his son here is taking us to see the house. Beautiful house and the beautiful tent environment next to the house. That's really nice. You see? They have here where you can make the tea and the coffee. And that's the thing, that even when the Bedouin population often, they leave that nomadic lifestyle and they get themselves a nice house, they still like to keep that feeling and environment of what the nomadic lifestyle was like.
גם יהודים וערבים, גם יהודים ויהודים באו וישבו פה. הסתכסכו, החליטו שאני אהיה באמצע, מה שאני אגיד מקובל, אומר מה שמקובל, יוצאים מפה מורצים ממה שאמרתי.
מה שיפה גם הם...
אז עכשיו פה אומר להם פתרון.
הם מחויבים לקבל את הפתרון.
They accept
the solution, the resolution that he actually need somehow to force it. Then, since they chose him to be the judge.
And he's giving us a tour of the house, and it is a beautiful house. Look at that.
אז זה ההאוס, גם זה מודרנייז. אבל אני יושב שם, אתה רואה שם בפינה אני יושב, ופה. אז אנחנו משתלבים. אנחנו כבר השתלבנו. אנחנו רוצים לחיות את החיים האלה. לא נוכל לחזור עם כבשים ועם זה.
So a lot of people here have adapted to living in a house, and this is a nice house, and they keep the relics of what the old house looked like, but that solution doesn't work for all the population here. There are some people who still want to live something similar to the nomadic lifestyle, particularly when it comes to having land and to having a herd of sheep and goats as their main livelihood, and they want to have that ability to have that life as well for a lot of the population who cannot adapt to the urban lifestyle that a lot of people here in Rahat have.
مقلوبة رز إذا بياكلوا له كشير أفهم على عزمهم خليهم ياكلوا ونسوي الناس حصلت عليهم وبيض الجار وياكلوا.
He's saying he's going to feed us with some magluba. That's not kosher, right?
زي ترنقول بدوي لو ترنقول بيتل.
A Bedouin chicken. Guys, I'm learning here some Bedouin Arabic, and he's telling me that they have a word that came from English, from the British Mandate period. Gotel, it's from go to. From go to in English, gotel is to go. I know roh, like roh is to go. Gotel. That's crazy. What other differences are there? يعني شو أكثر فرق بين العربي فلاحي لعربي
بدوي بدوي أكثر فصح
فصحى.
فصحى.
So he's saying it's more correct Arabic, proper Arabic. Fusqa, it's like modern standard Arabic.
Okay.
And the Bedouin Arabic is closer to the modern standard Arabic, according to Abu Nidal, because I'm not an expert, as opposed to the Falahi Arabic, which is more of the spoken Arabic, more dialectic Arabic. This is why I cannot learn Arabic, because he's explaining. We're talking about how to say the word, what I learned it originally as kahwe, which is coffee. And here, down south, the Bedouin, it's gahwe.
In the south, it's gahwa with the egg.
Yeah.
In the triangle, مثلث.
Yeah.
And most of the parts in West Bank and Eastern Jerusalem, kahwa.
Yeah.
The third version would be in the north and some parts of the of Jerusalem and Hebron in the West Bank, it goes ahwa.
Yeah.
And in some parts in the north, it goes qahwa.
Easy, no problem.
4 different.
لا شكرا.
هالمرة غير الصدر صدر أي واضح عاد كيف سنونك عاد نجي
Tal, if we stay long enough in Rahat, we become super fat.
عشان
Out of control here.
You should be very thankful because Qasim really showed us around and we got to see stuff in Rahat. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Be in touch.
Thank you so much. Bro.
Let me know how it goes. Come back again. All right. Take care.
Shukran, ma salame. All right. We downsized the crew. So what's going on now? Tal is taking us to his friend Raji.
We're going to meet Raji.
Who's Raji? Tell us about Raji.
Raji, I'll let him introduce himself, but he works in the development of schools in the area here, specifically for the betterment of Bedouin society down in Israel, in the south of Israel. And I mean, you can see it's amazing. You can see we're in a very green area right now, but you can kind of see the desert like right over there.
And it's not meant to be that green. It just rained a lot recently. This is the desert, technically.
Yeah.
We're kind of in that season at the end of the rain season where you have quite a lot of green here. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
This is Raji. This is the end of the proper road, the municipality road.
Yes.
And now it's just a territory where nobody is maintaining the road.
So this is technically where it begins to be unrecognized.
Yes.
Animals here in the backyard. Talking about these unrecognized communities, and what happens is sometimes it starts out by people coming and sort of constructing on the land. They don't have like the permit and so forth to build on the land. And then retroactively, the government in one form or another approves it or doesn't approve it. So there's like a lot of communities here with different statuses, legal statuses, as far as the state is concerned, and with different levels of connectivity to water, electricity, and things like that. And a lot of these communities don't have a connection to the electricity. They use solar panels.
It's very difficult area here, but another side we can see El Sayed village. This is belong for the El Kassoum council, but it's a new building.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you visit me after 5 years, you can see another buildings, a new reality here.
More development.
Yeah, more development. In this side, we can see Ombatin village. After then, we can see Omer village. It's Jewish, and you see the buildings. It's Beersheba.
Beersheba, the big city.
The big city. It's Beersheba. In this side, you see the mountain.
Yeah.
It's the West Bank.
So the West Bank already
Yeah.
starts here.
Yeah.
And you can easily go in and out.
Yes, it's very easy.
But what about for them? Can they come to you guys easily?
No. Today, I after October 7, people from the West Bank, for example, if they come here to work, it's not.
It's not happening at all now.
No,
There's
no,
no workers, no Palestinian
no,
workers
no Palestinians.
from the West Bank coming here now.
No.
These are purebred Arabian horses. But this is the original Arabian horse. It's much slimmer. And they have like this beautiful stride, you know, the way they jump up and down. And look at that, wow, that color, white color is amazing.
You can see the young.
Hello. This one is very young. He's like 1 year old. No?
Yeah.
Wow. He's a baby.
Yes.
Baby horse. Is he scared of people? Like if I try to pet him? Whoa. Whoa. It's a beautiful color though. Maybe you have a dog or a cat. Here they have horses and camels. Bedouin tribes dominated the desert is with the camel. The water is stored in the hump, so you can use them to ride across distances. Before, of course, they had cars. Very, very useful animal. The lights have come on now, but it's starting to get dark. Solar power, ah, Raji?
Yes, it's solar power.
Good for the environment. Or no? But better to have like consistent energy, you say.
In the winter we have a big problem about in the 10, 11 in the night it's finished.
I see. Yep, that's bad. So our friend here also telling us that some of the Hamas rockets landed here in this area where Bedouins are living. And they don't necessarily have a very good alarm system here, and certainly don't have shelters. Now they usually don't really try to fire on these areas because they're not as massively built up as, for example, Sderot, where I was, and you can see my video there. But rockets do land here. And there was a rocket that landed 1/2 kilometer from where we are right now. So they installed this electrical system. How much does it cost to install such a system?
About $20,000.
Damn. Wow, it's a lot. The solar panel, I don't know if you can see it there. This is getting the sun when it's sunny, and that's the system hooking it up to the house. And water, they have connections far off there that the municipality connects, but if there's a problem like a pipe burst or something, then it can affect their water consumption.
This is Raji's chickens. Wow.
Chickens and greenhouse. Nice. Not a horse, just a cat. Not interesting. Again, the house that's basically off the main grid. Wow. Amazing. So here you can get heating. When there's no electricity, you can still get heating here. That's great.
איפה? כן, זה טורקי.
איסטנבול?
אני חושב ש...